This is going to be the introduction video into the series I'm going to do on chocolate reviews. Now, it seems strange because, yeah, you can review anything, but something like chocolate, something like a specific food item, chocolate tastes like chocolate. All right, so it's hard. What am I supposed to do? Like, just try a piece and say, yeah, it's chocolate, you know? It doesn't seem interesting. So I gave this a little bit of thought, and I wrote down a couple notes to reference when I do a review. There's two important bits of information I think you should know. One is where it's from, and two is how much does it cost. All right, because you may have some really, really good chocolate, but it's very expensive, and it might outweigh the fact that it's good. You may not want to pay that much for chocolate. The three things I want to discuss in a review is one is texture. Okay, now that may seem stupid. Chocolate texture. What do you mean? I've noticed that in trying different kinds of chocolate, every chocolate has its own texture. Some chocolate's gritty. Some of it's very, very smooth. Some of it is chalky. Some of it can be almost waxy. All right, and I know different types of chocolates, at least from my recent experience in trying a bunch of different kinds, that certain types do have certain characteristics about them in general. But this is something that I thought would be interesting to discuss. So I'm going to be talking about what the texture is like. Now I'm also going to give two ratings. One rating for sweetness and one rating for bitterness. Okay, because all chocolate is either sweet or bitter or a combination of both. Okay, so for both of those, I'm going to do 1 through 10 scale. If something's extremely sweet, you'll get a higher sweetness rating. Okay, 10 being eating pure sugar and 1 being it's not sweet at all. And same with bitter. Something can be extremely bitter. A lot of the darker chocolates will have bitterness to them because you do lack the sweetness, and there's higher cocoa levels in it and stuff. And I figure it's a pretty good structure to go about instead of just opening some chocolate, eating it, and saying, yeah, that's good, or no, that's not good. But that's the ultimate goal, is by the end of the review, I'll either give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And what that means is that's my personal opinion of whether thumbs up, like, yeah, I liked it, I would definitely buy this again. Or thumbs down, never going to buy it again. I'm not interested, it doesn't do anything for me, it's not worth my money. Okay? Now, there may be some good chocolates out there that I give a thumbs down. This is just my personal opinion as to what I would spend my money on. So, in addition to having a structure here that I explained to you and how I'm going to do these chocolate reviews, I think I also need a staple chocolate. Something in which everything is compared to. So you have a reference. And every single chocolate I'm going to review in the future, I'll try to reference to this specific chocolate. Now, what did I pick? Something that I feel is just very widely available. And that is regular old Hershey's milk chocolate. Okay. Now I can tell you that personally, my whole life, if I've ever bought in chocolate, like a candy bar or something, I've never ever picked just chocolate. Okay. Like, this is not my favorite chocolate. And I'm not talking about the chocolate itself. I'm talking about the combination of the candy. If I got candy bars, it wouldn't be just milk chocolate. It would be, I like the Hershey's with almonds, or a symphony bar, which is chocolate with toffee in it and, dried fruit and stuff. Different candy bars that have nougat and caramel and, wafer and all kinds of crap like that. I like that. Like, that's what I enjoy if I have a candy bar or something, But I've changed. I've changed my views on that. And just like with my my habits with eating food, in the past, I've always liked to doctor things up. I've always made special sauce for everything. Everything I had to make my own special, crazy, usually spicy, dipping sauce, And it's added calories, it's added flavors, and what you're doing is you're covering up the flavor of the food you're eating. Now, in some cases, it actuates the flavor, okay? Such as ketchup and French fries. You know what I mean? French fries itself are good. Potatoes taste good. Hot, salty, fried potato sticks is great. But sometimes, you want to dip into a little ketchup, or some people dip into mayonnaise, which is a little over the top for me, or any kind of dipping sauce, whether it's honey mustard or barbecue sauce or whatever, mustard, regular mustard. That's fine. People like that. But for me, in my regular lifestyle, I've tried to go to simple. You know, don't add stuff to it. If what you're making needs sauce, you're not making very good food. And I've kind of adopted that to chocolate. Now, for me, chocolate is just a little treat, you know, a little something special. It's not something I eat all the time. It's not something I get regularly. But it's nice to have a little piece of chocolate every now and then. You know, it tastes good. It's a little sweetness. And as opposed to what I used to do in the past when I was big fat guy, and oh, I'm still working on trying to lose weight, by the way. I still haven't reached my goal. I still have about maybe 35 pounds before I reach where I want to be. And then at that point, I want to progress into, you know, working out and getting rid of some of the flab. But anyway, what I've adopted this idea is that when I do have a piece of chocolate, it's not like, or what I was going to say is before, I would go to the store and I get like 1 or 2 candy bars, and I just down the candy bar. You know, just put them out, chew it, eat it, swallow it. You know, ooh, that was good. And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people do that. But now what I'll do is instead of having a whole candy bar, I only take a little piece. And I'll take that little piece and I'll enjoy it very slowly with a cup of coffee, you know, or a cup of tea. And it prolongs the enjoyment. And it's something that I really can appreciate the flavors. And the way I eat chocolate is different. I used to put it in my mouth and chew it up and swallow it, which you think, okay, that's how you eat all food, right? That makes sense. That's how I eat. But Jesus, the computer with this stupid phone. Every time I buy the phone, it's, you know what it is? I have a very old speaker system from like the mid 80s. And it works great, so I'm not getting rid of it. But it picks up these signals. Anyway, sorry about that. So the idea here is to taste and enjoy what it is and really focus on those flavors, okay? So instead of putting it in my mouth and chewing it and swallowing it, I take a little piece, I put it in my mouth, and I let the warmth of my mouth, okay, the body temperature I have in my mouth kind of melt the chocolate. And I'll suck on it like a piece of candy, you know, like a lollipop or, you know, a hard candy. And I'll kind of move it around in my mouth, and as it warms up in my mouth, it starts to melt. And you can have the best chocolate in the world. It doesn't matter what chocolate you're talking about. It is so much better when it's melted. Okay, there's nothing like melted chocolate. Like I said, you can have a really good piece of chocolate, throw it in your mouth and chew it and enjoy it, swallow it. But if you move it around and you really let it melt in your mouth, and then like halfway through when it's half melted and really soft, then you chew it, it's such a different experience. It's really flavorful. It's delicious. So that's what I do. All right. So one, I don't have as much chocolate in a single sitting, and two, I really kind of focus on the flavors and enjoy it for what it is. So that's how I'll do these reviews. Is I'll take a little piece. Now what I've done is with the different chocolates I've tried over time, I've had them in different sittings, and you know, only 1 or 2 pieces at a time, and I put it in Ziploc bags. Okay, so it stays as fresh as possible, because if you do have stale chocolate, it will completely lose its flavor and it won't be like a good review of it, because it's not, you know, a consistent experience when it's stale. You have to have it fresh, right? So I'll save the wrapper so I know what it is, and then I'll save 1 piece from that candy bar. So or you know, chocolate bar, whatever it is. So when I finally get down to that one last piece, then I'll do a review on it, because I've experienced the chocolate, you know? I know this seems too in-depth. I mean, it's just chocolate, right? But again, like any review, I really want to get the entire experience and really set the proper message across, okay? The most accurate message I can, not only in facts, but also in opinion. Anyone can eat a piece of chocolate and tell you what they think, but I want to be more specific, okay? So that you can really understand. And the more detail there is in a review, the more you can understand my opinions on it, okay? So that's the goal here. So this is going to be the benchmark. I'm not saying it's perfect or anything, but it's very common. You can get this all around the world. Very simple. Now, at least in the beginning, I'm going to try to stay away from chocolates that have additives to it, such as chocolate with peanut butter. I mean, I love, you know, Reese's peanut butter cups. They're great. But it's hard to taste the chocolate when you have such an influence of peanut butter. Same with chocolate with nuts in it, or chocolate with caramel, or, you know, anything else. So I'm going to try to do just chocolate. Although there are some things in the future you'll see that have other things in it, you know, very small bits of something, whether it's a flavoring. I mean, I have one, it's mint chocolate. Obviously, the mint is going to influence the flavor of the chocolate itself, so you're not going to have as good of a review, but at least it's still reviewing something you may enjoy. But anyway, so here's the Hershey's milk chocolate. This is a 4.4 ounce bar, which I got for $1. Again, we're going to talk about price because that matters. Like anything else you're reviewing, right? It's a product. You're going to buy it. It's going to cost you money. How much money is it going to cost you? These larger bars are pretty much $1 a lot of places. If they're not on sale, they're always on sale. But if they're not, the big bar will cost you probably $1.50, like tops. It's not going to cost you any more than that. Unless you get it in a movie theater, then you're looking at, what, $20, $35 now for candy in a movie theater? I don't know. I haven't been to a movie theater in a while, but it's probably expensive still. Literally, you know, in the 90s, it was, you know, $5 for a candy bar. It's ridiculous. Anyway, yeah, so 4.4 ounces for $1. Now, of course, they do make the regular size. This is more of, I guess, what you consider the king size, even though it's not marked on there. A regular Hershey's bar is going to be smaller, okay? And that'll still cost you like 79 cents to $1, somewhere around there. So, very cheap. All chocolate really is affordable. It's just some's more expensive than others. So anyway, here's one portion, okay? This is how they separate it for you to break off. So here's what they're considering one piece. Some chocolate, it's broken into like a piece is this big, and some is even smaller. But here's what Hershey's idea of one serving is one square, or rectangle, I should say. So, get rid of the garbage here. And let's try it. I'll go through my little notes here just to see, make sure I don't forget anything. And what I'm going to do is, first I'll bite it in half and I'll just try it regularly, how a lot of you guys probably eat chocolate, which is just chewing it and swallowing it. And then the other piece I'll actually suck on and let it melt in my mouth, and then I'll go from there. So here we go. Tastes like chocolate. Life's like a box of chocolates. Alright. By the way, this is a milk chocolate. That's something else I'll mention. Actually, I'm going to write that down so I don't forget. The kind of chocolate. Because there are 3 different kinds of chocolate. You have milk chocolate, dark chocolate, and white chocolate. And maybe I'll make a separate video or just mention it in the future as to what the difference really is. Because, I mean, a lot of people, you know what the difference is, but what makes white chocolate, you know, what makes dark chocolate, and so forth. Anyway, here's the other piece. And I'm telling you, if you've never done this, and it might seem stupid, who's never done that? Well, there's people out there who've never done it. If you've never had a piece of chocolate and just not chewed it right away, just let it kind of linger in your mouth and warm up and melt in your mouth. There's nothing like it. It makes it so much better. You really get all the flavors. It's usually a lot creamier when you do that. Really good. And then like halfway through, when it's real soft, you can chew it and, you know, eat it like that. So, is this fun to watch? Please be honest. Anyway, right. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the texture. Okay, the texture on this Hershey's milk chocolate is creamy. It's very creamy. Even when you just chew it straight, it starts to melt in your mouth, and it does have a very creamy, rich texture to it, which is good. It's very pleasant. Sweetness, from 1 to 10, I would probably give this a 5. It's a very good sweetness. It's not overly sweet. I think some chocolates that I've had personally have been just way too sweet, and it's sickening. We all have a sweet tooth, but you can definitely overdo it. And this one, I think it's spot on. 5 is perfect for sweetness. Bitterness, I would give this a 0. There's no bitterness at all in this. It is a milk chocolate. I don't pick up any kind of bitterness at all. It's sweet, but just enough sweet. Origin, it's made in America. I know that, but let me see where exactly. This is where the wrapper comes in handy. Keep the wrapper. By the way, this is what it looks like in the store if you've never seen it. If you've never seen it, you're probably never into the store because it's everywhere. Okay. Hershey, Pennsylvania. Duh, I already knew that, but I wanted to make sure on the package that it's still the same. By the way, this is still good too. Make sure you look at the dates if you're buying chocolate. Like any other food item, you can buy it stale and it will affect the flavor. It's not going to taste very good. So yeah, Hershey, Pennsylvania. So I'm in the home state here of Hershey's chocolate. By the way, I've been to Hershey Park, and they have trucks in Hershey Park that literally pump out. It's like an advertisement truck, but it pumps out chocolate scent into the air to make you crave chocolate, and so you can go buy their chocolate. I kid you not. That is the truth. That is a true story. It's very much real. And I remember staying in Hershey Park in one of the hotels, and instead of having the little chocolate on the pillow, they had tins, like really cool old-fashioned tins of Hershey bars in the right on like the cabinet area in the hotel room, which was awesome. It was a really cool surprise, and I kept the tin. In fact, I still have it somewhere. But anyway, yeah. So it's made in America, specifically Hershey, Pennsylvania, and the price, like I said, was $1. Overall, I think it's a really good. It's a really good milk chocolate. It's very straightforward. It's very consistent. I've had it, my whole life. A lot of different Hershey's chocolate. I do prefer it with nuts and stuff in it, or other kind of additives to it for flavoring, just to make it a little. I actually like the Hershey's with almonds, not only for the flavor of the almond, but also the texture. Okay, I always like a little bit of texture in chocolate or dessert stuff. So anyway, that's the Hershey's milk chocolate. Just to recap, not bitter at all. Sweetness is a 5. Texture is nice and smooth. Only costs $1. Made in America. So that's going to be something to compare other chocolates to in the future. So hopefully this was kind of interesting, maybe, or maybe entertaining. And like I said, this is just like an introduction video to this series so that you guys know where I'm coming from and what I'm trying to accomplish here. And it's just to give you my personal opinions on different types of chocolate. So if you happen to be venturing into a store and you want to grab a snack or something real quick, and most people, I would say, they find a snack, and when I mean snack, I mean like dessert or candy, not snack like potato chips and stuff. But you might find dessert or candy that you like, and you stick with it. You'll always just have that. If you like Hershey's chocolate, every time you go buy chocolate, you buy Hershey's chocolate. You don't try other things. The purpose of these reviews is just to give you an idea of how things compare to each other and how they're different. You may like Hershey's chocolate, but you've never had, say, Nestle's chocolate. And then you never really thought of getting something different. And now it's kind of in your mind and you get something different. All of a sudden you like it so much better. It's so much better than what you've always had. So the idea here is not to be missing out. Just like knives or guns or anything else, have a little variety. See what you like. You're not going to know what you really like until you try different things. But, who knows? Some people are going to totally hate these videos. They're going to think they're stupid and a waste of time. And if the majority of people think that, then I just won't make them. But here's a start. See what you think. And I'll have some more videos in the future. Actually, the reason I'm doing this one is because I want to staple chocolate and to explain my theory here. Because I just got some chocolate from Florida from my friend Laura. And it's made by a company called Peterbrook. And I've never heard of it before, but she says it's very good. So she sent me 3 different kinds. They have their own milk chocolate, white chocolate, and dark chocolate. And I figured I'd do a review on it, but I want to do this video first. This way, like I said, you have the reference to the Hershey's. So anyway, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know what you think about this series and the idea of doing this kind of a review. Of course, don't be fearful. It's not going to take over the channel. It's not going to be a chocolate channel. Someone's going to comment. My new name's Chocolate Lover. Ha ha ha. It's just something different. I will always have something different. Always. You know that. You must know that by now. I can't just stick with the same stuff all the time. I'll keep going back to the same stuff because it's what has most interest. But I'm weird, and I like new things, and I like the variety, and that's just who I am. So I hope you enjoyed it. But please do be honest. If you didn't enjoy it, that's fine. Voice your opinion. We're here to listen. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.